What's up guys, it's Rob from About EVs. We're here with another video. I am going to put these two cars behind me head to head against each other today.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
We want to talk about what's different between them. There's a lot of things that are the same, but I want to talk about everything that's different between them. The Model 3 has some stuff that the Bolt doesn't have, and the Bolt has a surprising amount of features that you're not getting in the Model 3. So let's check them all out. Stick around, it's all coming right up. All right, guys, let's take a look at the basic specs of each car, and you can see that the Bolt is a $41,000 and change car, and the Model 3 is a $53,000 and change car, so about a $12,000 difference. Now, you're getting more range in the Model 3 at 322 miles versus 238 for the Bolt, and the Model 3 is a much faster car. But let's get into the details of what you're getting with each car accessory wise. Now we're going to dive in real deep here, and this video is a little bit on the long side, but bear with me. We're going to go over every single little detail. Alright, let's have a look around the outside of both of these cars, and we'll start there. So looking at the Bolt from the outside, this is kind of more or less a utility car. This car is not going to get you a lot of looks per se. It's a very capable car, it can do a lot, but it's not turning a lot of heads. In fact, most people don't even know that it's an electric car until you tell them. I mean, they see, I don't know if they see the Bolt EV on the side or not, but I guess it goes right over their head. They have no idea. To them, it's like a Spark and it's some kind of fuel efficient Chevy model, but they have no idea that it's an electric car until you tell them. So if you want to blend, then you're going to want this car because it blends very well with the crowd. You don't want to stand out. You don't want everybody to say, hey, what's that electric car, and have 1,000 questions for you on it. Then you want a Chevy Bolt because it really blends in with the crowd. It's not one that stands out and makes a statement. So the charge door on the Bolt is very conspicuous, and it actually opens for anybody, unlike the Tesla, and you can see that here it's blanked off, so I don't have the fast charging ability in the Bolt. I didn't opt for it. It was a $750 option, so I figured it was mostly going to be used from home to somewhere else, so I didn't plan on taking any long trips with it.
There's another ship coming in.
Maybe they know what happened.
It's an Imperial fighter.
He's followed us.
No, it's a short-range fighter.
So I didn't get that. Of course, the Tesla has it built in, so it's not even an option. It just comes with it, and supercharging is built into every Tesla. Alright guys, so let's check out the insides of both of these cars. We'll start with the Bolt, and to get in the car, you just need to have your key fob in your pocket. Don't have to do anything with it. You could, but it's not necessary. Once you walk up to the car, it senses the key fob is near, and you press the button and it opens right up. All right, the first thing I want to mention in the Bolt is that the headroom is massive. I mean, I could be much taller and probably have a big cowboy hat on, and I still would not touch the top of the roof. I mean, it's more headroom than I've ever had in any car. It's basically like a pickup truck in here. It's huge. That's something you don't get in the Model 3, although it's not bad. It's certainly not like crazy. I don't know, I probably have like 6 inches here at least, maybe more. All right, here's two things you're not getting in the Model 3, and the first is there's a paddle back here, and it's a regen paddle, and if you need the extra regen to stop the car, you just pull on this paddle and it gives you like a super boost of regen, slows the car right down and throws it all right back into the battery, and I really miss that. I wish the Model 3 had that. The other thing that this car has that the Model 3 surprisingly doesn't have is a heated steering wheel. I mean, okay, I get it. The car's from California, but it's being shipped to all kinds of crazy climates up in Norway where it's very popular. And it doesn't have a heated steering wheel, which is like super common in a car of this price range. So I'm gonna so miss that, especially on those cold winter days when you're trying to operate the display with gloves on because it's so cold out. So with the heated steering wheel, you could take the gloves off pretty quick, just warm your hands on the steering wheel. You can still operate the controls, and it's great. I'm totally gonna miss that. The other thing that surprisingly the Tesla doesn't have is Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It doesn't have either, although it has a pretty good in-car system. I mean, Apple CarPlay is so nice, and that is such a minus in the Tesla that you don't have that available. And I don't think they're ever going to have that available. So I'm not holding my breath for it, but I do love that Apple CarPlay and having all the stuff that's on my phone immediately available on the display. And I'm totally going to miss that in the Tesla. Another thing that the Tesla is missing, surprisingly so, is the bird's eye view here. The Bolt has it, and I absolutely love it. It's great for parking in tight spaces and parking against a curb as well. The Tesla doesn't have it. I think Elon has promised it may be coming, but no one's seen it yet, and who knows. I think it has enough cameras to do something like that, maybe not fully, but at least give you a little bit more view. The bird's eye view is just a killer feature in the Bolt. Here's another feature that the Tesla doesn't have, at least I don't think it does. I've not seen it in the settings anywhere, so unless it's just natively doing it, not saying anything, I don't think it has it, but it's the auto volume control. So what this does is, like, you've got the music on, volume 5, and you're cruising around town. As soon as you get on the highway, now you can't hear the radio. Well, the Bolt automatically puts the volume up for you, so you don't have to touch the controls and keep adjusting them. I have mine on high, and it's perfect. I love it. I wish the Tesla had that too, and that's just something else. Now this is very subjective, and I can't even demo it to you guys because I'll get a copyright strike, but even though the Bolt has less speakers and probably an inferior system spec-wise to the Model 3 stereo system I'm talking about, in my opinion, I think the Bolt actually sounds better. Now that's me. I like a little bit bassy. I like it to pump a little bit. In fact, when I really got it pumping, I can see like the mirror like vibrating. That to me is an indication that the system is pretty good and it sounds great. And in my opinion, it sounds a little bit better than the Model 3. So if you're looking for a really good stereo system, don't worry about the Bolt. It definitely delivers on that front. All right, lastly on the Bolt is the inclusion of the blind spot detection in the mirror. So you get that star there turns yellow when a car is approaching into your blind spot. Now I find that super helpful. The Tesla doesn't have that. It doesn't have anything in the mirror itself. But what it does in the Tesla is it uses the display to graphically show you what's around you. But it's nice to have it in the mirror because as you're going to change a lane, that's where you're looking, and it's going to show you flashing in yellow that there's a car there that you can't actually see, which is great. I wish the Tesla did have that. So when you come up to the Tesla, you see that it has the power folded mirrors. You don't need to do anything with a key fob or anything. It's detecting already that my phone is nearby, and it will let me in, and not only will it let me in, it knows who I am. It opens right up for me. All right, the first thing you notice when you get inside the Tesla is that the seats are so cushiony and comfortable. And not only that, they look pretty good too. The other thing you're going to notice when you get in this car is that it has the full glass roof all the way to the back, which is great. And it really does keep out the sun. You would think it would just cook you in here, but they did a great job with the filters on the glass. And I'm out here in the hot sun. It's a pretty warm day. And although it is warm in here with the windows closed, it's not like baking. It's not 120 degrees. It's probably 80 inside. So you're not getting cooked. And the glass roof is beautiful in this car, and it really opens things up and makes it airy, and just feels bigger and really nice. So unfortunately the Bolt doesn't even have an option for a sunroof at all, of any type. So you're just getting the sheet metal over you, and that's a really nice feature in the Model 3. Now there's lots of things in the Model 3 that it has that the Bolt doesn't. Now we went over all the things that the Bolt gives you that you don't get in the Model 3. I'm going to go over most of the things in the Model 3 that the Bolt doesn't have. Now if both cars have the same, I'm not going to mention them because I just figure they cancel each other out. I mean, we can spend an hour and a half going through every feature on either car, but that wasn't really the point of this video. I really wanted to show you guys what each car has that the other car doesn't have. So another thing that the Model 3 has that the Bolt doesn't have is it has power seats. And now power seats alone are cool, but it's not enough of a thing to get me to buy the car or not. What the Tesla does with the power seats is that it keys it to your driver profile. So it not only remembers how you like the seats, but it remembers a whole bunch of other stuff with your driver profile. How you like to drive, how you like the stiffness of the steering, the position of the steering wheel. It's telescopic, so it puts it exactly where you like it. As soon as you get in, it adjusts the seat to where you like it. All your customizations on the display are all tuned exactly to you. And you can have many driver profiles. So, you know, your wife, your kids, anybody who drives the car can also have their driver profile. Another cool thing that it has is easy entry. So it's actually another driver profile. But what it does is you set easy entry up so that like the seat's all the way back and the wheel's out of the way. And you just put it in your profile that when you get in, you want it in easy entry, so that as soon as you get into the car, it pushes everything out of your way. So it's easy to get in, it's easy to get out of the car, because as you shut down, it'll go back into easy entry. So as soon as you put in park, and that gives you very easy entry and exit out of the car. And as soon as you do put the car into drive, it goes back to your profile. It knows who you are. It's identified you to either your key card or your phone. I didn't mention the key card. It does come with one. It's probably not necessary to use it, but if you are going to give the car to somebody temporarily, or you're going to, you know, have it valeted, or, you know, you're going to park it in a valet spot, then you can use that key card for that. But personally, you're pretty much going to just use your phone, and it knows your phone. It knows it's paired to you, so it knows which driver profile you are by your phone, which is pretty awesome. So we briefly did talk about the power adjusting wheel, which the Bolt doesn't have. It's all manually controlled. And the power folding mirrors, which obviously the Bolt doesn't have. The mirrors do fold on the Bolt if you need to fold them. You can push them in manually, but they don't open and close automatically like they do in the Tesla. And by the way, that's another thing you can, it's a preference you can set in your driver profile. If you don't want if you don't want the car to do that, you can turn it off. All kinds of customizations like that on your driver profile, exactly how you want it or how you don't want it. You really can customize the car to just the way you like it. Another killer feature that the Model 3 has is the adaptive cruise control. So it's got cruise control, it's got basic cruise control, adaptive cruise control. So it's going to see the car in front of you, and it's going to adjust the speed if that car slows down or speeds up to the point where you have set the cruise. So if that car does 100 miles an hour away, it's going to just go up to whatever you have the cruise set at, 70 or whatever it might be. But it also has autopilot, and autopilot is basically where the car, it will drive in the lane. So there's two different levels of autopilot in the Tesla. It comes standard with what they call autopilot, which is basically you're getting adaptive cruise and you're getting the car to drive in the lane automatically. Will follow the lane for you for miles and miles and miles on end, which is great if you're going on a long trip. If you go up to the full self-driving, which is another $7,000 option, and you can get that at any time. You can just go into your app and put it on your credit card if you want it. Sends it down and unlocks it basically. Then you're getting at the moment, and this is May 2020, because they're updating it all the time. At the moment, you get exit to exit driving. So as soon as you get on the entrance ramp, you put it on and it will drive all the way to the exit and then it's off. But there's more coming. They're really pushing that they're going to have full self-driving. The car's going to completely drive by itself. For instance, drive you from your house to your work without you doing anything. That's supposedly coming. They are sending out updates all the time. They just did another one where it recognizes and identifies stoplights and stop signs. So they are working on it and it's coming, and that's the kind of cool stuff that you just don't get with the Bolt. I mean, it just doesn't even, it's not even, they don't have it. Now GM's way behind on that. In fact, pretty much every car company is way behind on that. So the autopilot, full self-driving option, yeah, that's a Tesla thing. So the other thing you're getting with the Model 3 or any Tesla is a really excellent navigation system. Now the Bolt doesn't even have a navigation system. It's solely relying on Android Auto or Apple CarPlay to do all the navigation for you. So it doesn't have anything built in at all. Although Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are excellent ways to navigate by themselves. But the Tesla does come with its own navigation system. It is powered by Google Maps, and it's very, very, very good. Not only that, it's very good at routing you to Supercharger stations. So, for instance, if I calculate in a route that's beyond the range of the battery, in this case it's 322 miles, it's automatically going to plot Supercharger stops along the way for me. And that is just awesome. I mean, the Bolt doesn't have anything like that. You're going to have to manually do those stops and figure out where you're going to need to stop. And you're not going to be able to use a supercharger. You're going to have to use just the regular fast chargers that are around and managed by a bunch of different companies. So it's hit or miss whether you're going to find one that's working, and you really don't have any standard pricing on them either. So that's a little bit of a drawback by not having the Tesla Supercharger system at your disposal. So now say you're at a charger, a supercharger, and you're waiting for it to charge. Well, Tesla gives you a bunch of stuff to do while you're waiting. Not only do you have a ton of games that are built into the car, and some require a game controller, so I suggest you have one of those, but they don't all. Some of them you can actually use your steering wheel and the buttons on your steering wheel, as well as this one here, Beach Buggy Racing. You're actually using your steering wheel and your brake and your real brake and your gas to actually control the car, which is so cool. So you got tons of games in here. There's over a dozen games to play. And you also have theater. So if you want to watch Netflix or you want to watch YouTube, it's there and it's built into the car. You program your account into it and you can just sit and watch movies or YouTube or whatever you want to do, Hulu. And chill out while your car's charging. It doesn't really take that long to charge on a supercharger, but if you got a half an hour to kill and you want to catch an episode of something, then the Tesla's got you covered. Now, if you don't find what you want on the built-in stuff, the Tesla also comes with a full web browser that is built into the car, so you can go to any site that you can on your phone or on your laptop right in the car. And I don't know any other car that has a full web browser, so that is just immensely cool. So you're getting that, you're getting a web browser, you're getting games, lots of stuff to do, lots of entertainment in the Tesla. They're always adding cool new stuff. I mean, it's got camp mode, it's got dog mode, it's got emissions testing control, which is a fun thing to make fart sounds. You can put it into Mars mode, where the map changes into the planet Mars. I'm not sure how that's useful, but it's kind of cool. The Christmas thing, cowbell. I mean, there's a music piano type. It's like kind of like GarageBand, where you can create your own music on here and save it. There's tons of cool stuff, and they're always adding cool stuff all the time. I mean, it just blows you away, that all the stuff that's in this car. It also has, while you're driving or not, it has karaoke, which is very cool. So yeah, you got tons. There are literally tons of songs to go through with karaoke. So it plays the songs. They're not always the original artist, but many times it's so close you can hardly tell. But as it's playing the song, it's showing the words, and if you got people and family in the car on a long trip, this is a great thing to keep everybody occupied. So another thing, tons of stuff that this car has that you're not only not going to find it in the Chevy Bolt, but you're probably not going to find it anywhere else but in a Tesla. So while we're talking about music and the sound system in general, I did point out that I do like the sound of the Bolts a little bit better, but I tell you what, the Tesla has an impressive sound system. It has 15 speakers. I mean, they're all over the place. There's 3 or 4 in the front. There's a tweeter up here. You got speakers down here. You got a speaker here. In the back seat, you have speakers. On the deck in the back, you have speakers. Behind the deck in the back, there's a subwoofer. There's 2 amplifiers back there. A very, very impressive equipment list for the sound system. And it sounds very good. Don't get me wrong. It's not poorly sounding at all. It's just I do like the bass pump in the Bolt a little bit more than what bass pump you get in the Tesla, but the sound is excellent. Another really cool thing about the Model 3 is a place to put your phone. So when you open up this panel here, you have a place to put 2 phones, and it's very nice how they're nicely in view of you while you're driving. So if you need to access them for some reason, they're right here. So it comes with ports that you can wire in and manually charge them with the plugs. I replaced that with a wireless charging pad here. So all I have to do is lay my phone down here or here, and I can also put it landscape if I want to. And it will charge just wirelessly. And the phone's right there in view, which is a huge plus for me. The Bolt doesn't really have a good spot to put your phone like that and charge it at the same time. It's got that kind of weird pocket up way in the front. It's far away from any USB ports, and being in that pocket, you can't see it at all. So I don't know, I never used it, but this is a huge, great new way of having your phone in sight and it's charging. Another awesome thing about the Model 3 is the Dashcam. So we talked about the Sentry mode where it's kind of guarding your car, and it's using the same cameras for dash cam. So while you're driving, the car is recording on all 4 cameras around the car as you're driving. So if you get into some trouble, you can go back and review the footage. Now, a lot of cars, you have to buy a dash cam separately for that. On the Model 3, or really any Tesla, this is built into the car. And they just added this beautiful dash cam viewer and Sentry mode viewer. So now you can look at all your footage right in the car. You can change to any of the camera angles and check them out. It's super cool. This is Sentry mode, but you can switch here if you want to see what the dash cam footage was at one point in time. It's all here. And what you used to have to do was take the USB stick out of the car and then plug it into a laptop or something to see this. But now it's all visible right on the screen, and really great so that you can see what happened if anything happened. The other cool thing that it does is, and you can turn this on or off, but if you toot your horn, all right, you say you're getting into an accident or something, you can set it to automatically save that footage. Really well thought out stuff like that really makes this car what it is. The thing that I wanted to point out on the Bolt that it has that is not available in the Tesla is that video rear view mirror. The Tesla just has a standard rear view mirror, auto dimming, but it's not the video screen. You can get the camera at any time, actually even when you're driving, which you can't do with the Bolt. And you can, it takes up the whole screen. So it's not actually on the mirror all the time, but it is on the screen, and it's excellent high resolution. So I kind of wanted to point that out because the Bolt does have it on the mirror, and that you don't have in the Tesla. The Tesla has another way of looking in behind you. All right, the last thing I wanted to go over was the apps. Now, both cars have apps that you can control the vehicles with, and there are some differences that one has that the other one doesn't have, and vice versa. So I want to just go through that as well. On the Chevy Bolt, it has 2 things that the Model 3 doesn't have, and that is, one, it has native Alexa control, so you can set it up so that you can remote start your car and do a bunch of other things, you know, most of the basic functions of the app. That's something that the Tesla doesn't have natively. There is third-party ways around that so that you can get Alexa to work with it, but it's not natively. And when it does work natively, like with the Chevrolet app, it's very seamless and it works very well. The other thing that the Bolt has in the app is it has the driving activity, where it kind of keeps track of all a bunch of parameters like hard braking and excessive speed and stuff like that, that the Tesla doesn't really have. The Bolt's probably a little better at showing you those parameters than the Tesla is. Now, the Tesla app has a few things that the Chevrolet app doesn't have. The one cool thing that it has is that it has the window control, which you'd think would be in every app, and you'd think the Bolt has it, but it doesn't have it. But in the Tesla, you can crack the windows. It's called vent mode. And you can also just tell it to roll all the windows up, no matter where they are. It's a button on the app, and it rolls all the windows up, which is great. I wish the Bolt had that. Another cool thing that the Tesla app has is that it will tell you what not only the exterior temperature is, it'll also tell you what the interior temperature is of the car. So as you're preheating it, you can kind of watch and see when it's kind of warmed up to a point, or cooled down, if it's a hot day, to a point where you actually want to get in it. The Bolt doesn't tell you that. I know it knows that, but it doesn't show it anywhere, and there's no way to find out even inside the car. The other cool thing that the Tesla app does is you can open the front trunk and the rear trunk from the app. There's no way to open the trunk in the Bolt from the app, or the hood, or anything else for that matter. You can unlock the doors, which you can do in both of them, but that's pretty much where it ends. But yeah, on the Tesla app, it has valet mode, which you can put it in, and it basically restricts a lot of what they can control on the display. The car's still drivable, of course, but it's in a lockdown state where they can't go in and play with a lot of stuff. And you can also set max speed. So, you know, if I'm dropping it off for service or whatever, I can set the max speed at like 25 miles per hour or whatever. Like if I'm going to drop it off at airport parking, there's no reason they need to go more than 20. So I can scroll that down on the app, and that's all as fast as the car is going to go. They would have to put a pin in to get out of it, and they're not going to guess the pin. So software updates. Let's put it this way: both cars have the ability to do over-the-air updates, but the Tesla app actually allows you to do an update from the app, and it will tell you in the app that there is an update, and you can press a button and apply it, and it'll tell you it's updating for the next 30 minutes and the car can't be driven. You don't have that ability in the Bolt. Not that I've ever seen an update come across on the Bolt. But because I think all mine were done at the dealer when I was in for service. Not that there was many. I think there was maybe 2. You don't have the option to do an update from the app. I think even if there was an update available, you would have to get in the car to do it, to start it. So that's kind of, you know, it's a difference. Tesla's more futurized and GM's more controlled by lawyers, I think. What's cool about the Tesla app is you can send it map directions, like from Google Maps or from Apple Maps or in any other map application. As far as I know, you're just using the share sheet icon, at least in iOS, and I'm pretty sure you can do this in Android too, but you can share directions to it. So if you've already gone into one of your map applications and plotted the directions, you can just share it right to the Tesla app and it goes right into the car. So as soon as you get into the car, or if you're already in the car, those directions appear right on the screen immediately, like instantly, and that is really a cool feature. The last thing with the Tesla app that you can do is you can upgrade it from the app, and I think I mentioned that before, where you can do the full self-driving option. You can just add it right from the app, and this one also, on this particular model, you can get what they call acceleration boosts, so that gives you just faster, it increases the ability to go 0 to 60 by half a second faster. That's a $2,000 option, but if you're up for it, you can add it right from the app, and then it unlocks that feature in your car. And I think a lot more stuff like that is coming from Tesla. Of course, the Chevy Bolt doesn't have anything like that. I think that brings us pretty much to the end of the app comparison. Yeah, that's about it. Of course I missed stuff. We're gonna do one final round on each car. Here we go. Hey guys, well, I realized when I was putting this video together that we missed a bunch of stuff on each car, and I didn't want to leave them out completely because they were kind of obvious. So let's do one last round for each car. This will be it, and I promise, I know this video is super long already, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. So here we go.
15th and final round. They look like they've been in a war, these two.
On the Chevy Bolt, OnStar, I forgot about that. Very underrated feature which allows you to call for help, directions, and notifies the authorities in the event of a crash detection. So that's really cool. All GM products have that. 4G hotspot. That's another great thing. I don't ever use it, but it's nice that it has it. You could use your car as a Wi-Fi hotspot. Great for emergencies, I guess, if it's parked or if you're going a long drive. The other thing, passenger controlled rear seat heat. This is really cool because the passengers can control whether they want it on or off. In the Tesla, you would have to actually ask the driver to put it on for you, or ask somebody in the front seat to put it on for you. And the ocean handle. Yes, the Chevy Bolt has one on the passenger side. It has one. The Tesla doesn't have one at all. I guess they just figured you're never going to need one because it's so safe. I don't know, but doesn't have one, and the Bolt does. So I put down some question marks because I know I forgot stuff, I'm sure. So leave a message for me down in the comments. We can continue it down there. Anything else you bolt people want to fight for the bolt, put it down there, and we'll leave everything in the comments afterwards, because I cannot possibly get everything in this video. On to the Model 3. All right, the Model 3, I forgot a bunch of stuff on it, and we'll go through these quickly as well. Auto wipers. You don't actually have to manually put the wipers on if you don't want to. It has a system that will detect rain and put them on for you. Jury's out on how well that works. Auto high beam. Same thing, I've heard good and bad on that, but it does have it in the Tesla, and it will automatically put the high beams on for you if you have that selected. Auto emergency braking. It's there to like kind of auto stop the car for you if it sees an imminent collision. Adjustable power steering. There's 3 different levels of that that you can adjust, and it just really adjusts the tension on the power steering. And it has dual climate control in the Model 3. That's something that's not available in the Chevy Bolt, and it is kind of cool if you know, say your wife is too cold or too hot. The passenger can control theirs independently, or you can link them both together so that it's just the same as the Bolt. It would be doing the same on both sides. That's it for this video, and if any of you guys are still watching, I totally owe you guys a drink for making it this far. You guys are super fans. Hopefully this helped you decide which car is for you. I didn't want to put anything in your head. For a lot of people, the Chevy Bolt is a great car, and it's very capable, and it'll do everything you want. This video kind of just shows you what's, if you're comparing the 2 cars against each other, what each one has and what each one doesn't have. And hopefully it was informative and help you guys can make a decision. If you are a Model 3 fan, mostly understand that you're going to pay a premium for it to get all these extra goodies. But some people, it may be worth it to you. It was worth it for me. I did it. But I don't regret owning the Bolt. It's a great car. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the channel. If you didn't already, please like and subscribe, hit the notification button, and we'll see you on the next one.